everyone. Good Thursday evening to you. It is 21 News Chief Meteorologist Eric Wilhelm here with a fresh edition of the Valley's most in-depth weather forecast video. Thanks to everyone for chiming in and giving their opinion on the backdrop situation this week. I'm still kind of undecided as to what I want to do. This has been the traditional backdrop of this video for many years now, but I've been flirting with the idea of having a virtual backdrop to make the video look a little nicer. But a lot of you get a kick out of the kind of the behind-the-scenes office look behind me, including Emily's shoe collection over here. Those aren't my shoes. That's Emily's desk, and those are Emily's shoes under there, and she has quite a few pairs. All right, onto the weather on this Thursday evening. It was announced today in their kind of 2022 and climate review by NOAA that globally this was the 6th warmest year on record globally. It's hard to find much blue on this map. Of course, La Nina influenced temperatures a little bit near the equatorial Pacific, but a lot of orange, of course, globally in the year 2022. And while we've had a few warmer years in recent decades, the long-term trend, of course, of the globe warming does continue. Back here at home, it was a mild January day today. We made it into the 40s and in some places 50 or so. This afternoon, we've also picked up a healthy amount of rain. Rain gauge network showing half an inch in some spots, 3/4 of an inch, getting close to an inch in some other spots since the rain began late this morning. The almanac today, 46 at the airport, so we underachieved a little at the airport, but it got to 50 or so in parts of Columbiana County. As of the climate report at about 5:20, 0.86 in the rain gauge there in Vienna at the air base. We've probably added some to those totals since the issuance of that climate report, that daily climate report that actually comes out twice a day. The National Weather Service Office issues for all their climate sites climate reports for their sites 2 times a day, one around 5:30 in the evening, the other comes out about 1 o'clock in the morning and catches anything that happened in the evening hours after the first issuance of that daily climate reports. All right, locally, rain. Recording this video at 7:05, it's raining just about everywhere. It's going to continue to rain just about everywhere for the next handful of hours. As of 7:05, we're starting to see a transition over to some wet snowflakes from Sandusky down to Mansfield, heading down I-71. It's not much. It's not going to be much, but there will be some snowflakes working in overnight. Down to our south, busy day today. Tornado watch still out for Charlotte down to Columbia, heading down towards Augusta, Georgia, into the southern tier of Georgia as well. We actually had a big outbreak of severe weather, kind of an overachiever in terms of severe weather today, especially in Alabama, where around Selma, we had a high-end tornado that will probably be rated once they do the damage survey, rated at least an EF2 would be my guess. This was mostly south of Birmingham. That same circulation continued to produce tornadic activity all the way into the southern suburbs of Atlanta late this afternoon and early this evening. Across the Mahoning and Shenango Valleys, the transition from rain showers to some wet snowflakes will occur around midnight, give or take an hour or two. And some snowflakes will be around overnight, but a lot of this is going to try to melt on contact as air temperatures will be mostly above freezing for the duration of the night. We'll back off to about 32 right around daybreak tomorrow. And as we get into the daylight hours on Friday, we've continued lowering our expectations here locally as far as impacts and amounts on Friday. A lot of this stuff is going to be confined to the primary snow belts. Now, this isn't a pure lake effect snow event. This is more of a lake enhanced event. A lot of this snow would occur even if Lake Erie didn't exist. But Lake Erie, even though it's pretty cold, is giving this activity somewhat of a boost, and so amounts will go up quite a bit. Anyone traveling up 11 towards Ashtabula, up 79 towards Erie, 422, the Ohio Turnpike, getting closer to the Cleveland area, you can run into some tricky travel later on tonight, and especially during the daylight hours for Friday. But locally, this is kind of a nothing burger. I mean, an inch or less. And a lot of melting on contact and a lot of wet roads for our Friday. The snow intensity will be pretty light a lot of the times. Now, as we get into the evening on Friday, this is, I still think, can be a little bit of a tricky spot. We're going to lose the daylight hours. We're going to see temperatures backing off from around 30 to maybe 25 as the evening progresses. Anything untreated could be a little bit slick. Something to watch out for. You might have to use a little bit of caution towards Friday evening. So again, this will be more of a problem for Cleveland, Ashtabula, heading up towards Erie, Meadville, and up towards Buffalo as well. The flurry activity lingers into Friday evening, but then it's gone by Saturday morning. Clouds will break for some sun. It'll be a seasonably cold start to the weekend on Saturday, and a cold night. We'll drop down into the teens, but actually a pretty nice day coming up on Sunday after that cold start we get into the upper 30s, which is a handful of degrees warmer than the average, so it'll actually feel like winter in mid-January for a change on Saturday night, Sunday morning. But by Sunday afternoon, we're approaching 40. I think we'll exceed 40 next week and maybe even flirt with 50 a couple of times. Our average highs and lows are bottoming out over the next 10 days to 2 weeks, kind of flatlining for highs around 34, average lows bottom out around 19 or 20. Will be as many as 19 degrees warmer than the average during the second half of next week. There is no sign of this pattern changing until just beyond this 10-day forecast as we get into that last week of January. I'm expecting a colder pattern to take shape. Nothing extreme, nothing that's going to rival what we had around Christmas, but a colder pattern that will probably take us into the first part of February. There's still some question marks about the overall flavor of February here locally. I, at this point, am not expecting a severely cold month or anything like that. A blowtorch, kind of like we're experiencing January, that seems unlikely as well. Although the second half of February could be pretty darn mild. So we're going to do a February forecast, an initial outlook, not the final outlook, but an initial outlook over the next handful of days. We'll also do kind of a halftime report with January 15th being the official halfway mark in the season of winter. Meteorological winter, anyway, December, January, February. We'll do a little bit of a halftime report, see where we've been, see how the forecast is doing. Hint, hint, not so great right now. And see what the second half of winter might bring. Look for that in the next couple of editions of Weather for Weather Geeks, both tomorrow and on Monday as well. In the meantime, thanks for watching on this Thursday night. Have a great rest of your night.